La la la.
Here's everything you missed on this week's episode of Below Deck. So we are 7 hours away from the stock party. You know, the one that these asshole guests were like, oh, like, by the way, can you, like, throw together a whole concert in, like, 2 days? And it's up to Frasier to do all this. Like, he's essentially just kind of doing this alone, but, like, kind of with Carrie. But Captain Carrie, don't even get me started on him. He's been one of the worst captains that we've ever seen. Like, he has Frasier run the entire interior, which is fine because he's the chief stew. But he just doesn't give a shit about the interior this season, and we usually see the captains, like, kind of giving a shit about them. Unless you're Sandy and you give too many shits about it, because Sandy was, like, literally controlling everything. So he really needs to rely on his stews to kind of take care of things on the boat because he's off the boat dealing with everything. Oh, what's wrong, Frasier? Oh, you have a stew that you can't trust because she's literally just been hooking up with Jess the entire time? Yeah, so Selene has been all over Jess recently. She's basically trying to just get with everyone on the boat. But it's Kyle who she really pisses off because they've kind of had a few kisses. Like, literally the day before they were kissing, and then the same day, and the next day she was kissing Jess and, like, has been, like, sleeping in Jess's bed. I'm sure this won't be an issue later. Meanwhile, it's Hugo, our new bosun's first docking, and believe it or not, he actually does pretty well. But what pisses me off about this season is that we don't really see a lot of dockings. Like, I feel like the guests frequently come in and off the dock from the tender. Like, they don't even dock the boat anymore, which is kind of shitty because I feel like that's when we see most of, like, the deckhand drama go down when they're trying to dock the boat. Because docking is, like, it's a whole fucking thing, and I love watching them do it because I feel like they're like, are we gonna crash the boat? They never fucking crash the boat, right? But, like, I like the anticipation of it. God, why do we all want to see the crash? Come on. Let's be fucking real. Let's not kid ourselves here. So Frasier is very, very stressed out because, like, they're setting up for this party, like, only a couple hours prior. And Rainbow is basically holding down everything on the ship, like, she's dealing with these asshole guests. And, of course, Selene is just in bed with Jess. Well, at least they have a backup stew, right? Nope, Barbara's also with them. Menage a trois, more like menage a get your ass off the boat, Selene. Go back to France. So finally it's time for the guests to experience their party. Yeah, pretty dope-ass party. I'd want to go. Just kidding. Don't ever let me around fire. My house, my car, my great-grandmother, I've all caught fire. So, I don't think I would do well here. But Barbara has been spending a little bit more time with Jess, and she's like, fuck, I'm kinda into Jess, but, like, Selene has been kissing her, but, like, what she doesn't know is that Selene also kissed Kyle. It's a whole thing. This is, like, the very incestuous boat. So the guests come back onto the boat, and they're getting ready for dinner, and they're having, like, a bunch of, like, small plates, like, appetizers. And, like, you can't convince me that that isn't, like, the best style of dinner, because, like, you know when you go to a restaurant with, like, a bunch of people, and you just order a bunch of apps and just call that dinner? Like, oh, literally the fucking best. No, I don't want a hamburger. I want fucking potato skins, like 20 of them on a plate so I can just take them as I go. But anyway, Frasier drops something, and I'm not gonna lie, like, that looks like shit. Carnival Poop Cruise who? So Frasier starts cleaning it up as he naturally would, and this guest turns around to him and she's like, oh, Frasier, like, you dropped something, you made a mess. And he's fucking had it at this point. Like, he spent the entire day planning this fucking dock party, and then he turns around and he's like, yeah, I know. Thank you. Hell yeah, Frasier. And Rainbow's dealing with these guests, like, this guest, Dawn, in particular, is the fucking worst. Like, she turns to Rainbow and she's like, are these little steaks supposed to be, like, one bite? You know how many swallows that took for me to get down? First of all, funny as fuck out of context. Second of all, hi, do you have dysphagia? Do you need help? Because what do you mean? Anyway, Rainbow's fucking had it with these guests because she's constantly hearing her name like Rainbow, Rainbow, Rainbow. And I think that she's about to kill someone because I would be too. So that night Frasier's like, hey, Selene, Rainbow, you guys are on like cleanup. Barbara, go to bed. But Selene, of course, is with Josh. She just doesn't give a shit. And she has to be a producer plant, right? Because she's from Love Island, France. Like, she didn't start in yachting. I feel like a lot of the stews that we see start in yachting and then eventually become influencers. It's so obvious that, like, she's just going for that influencer fame track. Like, she does not give a shit about being a stew. Like, she makes that abundantly clear. And that's why I'm kind of, like, not loving the season of Below Deck because it feels very, like, influencer heavy. Like, they have that whole, like, transition thing where, like, they're showing their, like, Instagram feed, like, that happens, like, 10 times per episode, and we're watching this, and we're like, what the fuck are we watching? Like, I don't give a shit about their backstory. Show me, like, a fucking fire on the boat or some shit. Damo's also pissed, though, because he's been having to pick up Jess's slack, and Jess is literally a lead deckhand, because Jess and Selene have just been fucking making out and essentially just fucking out in the open. So Rainbow's just officially had it, and she's trying to show Selene, like, okay, you need to do this, this, and this. Like, she's explained multiple times. And Selene's like, I don't care, which really pisses Rainbow off. So it's up to Rainbow to, like, do all the shit at night. And Selene is fucking drinking. And this is what pisses me off because you are not allowed to drink on charter if you are a crew member. Like, this is why Hannah got fired. Well, one of the reasons why Hannah got fired is just because Malia's a fucking see you next Tuesday. But Hannah got fired because she was taking Valium on board, which it was a prescription. She has anxiety, but like you're not allowed to take that because like God forbid the boat starts coming down in the middle of the night. Like you have to be alert for that. And fucking Selene is just like, I have my champagne. Now get the fuck out of here. So she goes to bed at 1 o'clock. Rainbow stays up doing Selene's job and goes to bed at 2:30. Problem? I think so. The next morning, Rainbow and Damo, that didn't sound right. No, like, I know it was correct. It just didn't sound nice. Anyway, so they've officially are done with Selene and Jess. Meanwhile, Barbara's like, how can I make this like Love Island and get more screen time? Oh, let me stir the fucking pot. So she asks Hugo, like, hey, do you like anyone? And he's like, I guess Selene is attractive, which, like, no. At this point, like, fucking stop. Like, don't get me wrong, she's a beautiful girl, but, like, you've seen the shit go down, right? Like, you've been on this boat for a few days. Anyway, so Frasier decides that he needs to have a conversation with Carrie and basically just explain the whole stew situation. And Carrie's like, hey, if you need to fire someone, then fire someone. The most useful Carrie has been all season. And Kyle's like, okay, I want more screen time. So he starts going around and telling everyone about, his kiss with Selene. And of course, Frasier goes and tells Barbara. He tells Damo. So that's going to be a fun problem to work through next episode. So now it's time for these guests to leave. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I don't fucking know. But anyway, Kyle pulls Jess aside and he's like, hey, by the way, like, I kissed Selene the other day. And Jess is like, okay. I literally couldn't give two shits. So the tip meeting comes along. They made $2,100 each on top of their salaries for this charter. Which my question is, why haven't I gone into yachting yet? Can you imagine me on a boat? Like, imagine like seeing me on a boat. That would be fucking hilarious. I'm not gonna lie. Because I would be so bad at the job. But Carrie's like, hey, by the way, management has decided to rent a villa for you guys the next 2 days. So we are literally turning into Love Island, like, as we see. And I hate that shit. Like, I just want to see drama on a boat, you know? So Frasier calls all the stews for a meeting. And they don't give a shit about Frasier, right? Like, they treat him like crap, basically. Like, he literally has to tell Barbara to sit up. It's like when you're in elementary school and, like, you all sit on the carpet together. Like when you would crowd around that one computer in the room because Chromebooks didn't exist and smartboards didn't exist. And then, like, you would lay down because you're like, oh, I'm on the floor and I've been up since 7 a.m. and I'm 6. And then your teacher would be like, sit up. Sit the fuck up. Yeah, it's like that. So Frasier's like, you guys actually did a really bad job this charter and I'm not happy. So, like, I will make cuts if needed. Someone's like, I literally don't care. And Rainbow just starts crying. She's like, I care. I care so much. It's so painful to watch this with Rainbow. And apparently, like, one of the linens, I guess, for one of the cabins went missing. And the stews just take it upon themselves to blame Rainbow. Oh, I'm sure that won't be a problem for next Monday. So that was Below Deck. Sydney out.